This is Donna at the Y. I'm coming to you today to help you get inspired to start making some healthier food choices and try to, expand your horizon a little. So I have tweaked a cauliflower soup, and I hope you will enjoy it. And it's really not that easy. You do need to make a few pans dirty, but it's well worth it. So this is called roasted cauliflower vegetable soup. So I cut up the cauliflower into bite-sized pieces, twofold. It cooks quicker when it's smaller, and when it's in the soup, you can save a couple out if you don't want to have it blended up together to put on top. So I'm going to save some of the prettiest pieces to put on top of our soup. So I think soup is a great vehicle for getting more vegetables into your diet. So this has a base of onion, carrots, and celery. You could also add kale or spinach at this point into the broth. So you saute the carrots, onions, and celery in some olive oil. At the same time, you're roasting your cauliflower. And I just drizzled about a tablespoon of olive oil and salt and pepper. And I put a little rosemary. That's like my new favorite. And my neighbor has a hedge of it, so I'm always clipping Frances's rosemary. She doesn't mind. So I put a little rosemary, salt and pepper, roasted that at 425 for 25 minutes. Give it a stir in the middle of the cooking time. To make this soup extra special, I made a cheese sauce. So first you do the white sauce or bechamel sauce, and then you add 1 cup of low-fat cheese. And this just adds that extra special richness to the soup. If, for example, you do not want to have any dairy products, you could do this with olive oil instead of having the roux being butter and flour. You could do olive oil and flour, or use cornstarch to thicken it. And you could use soy milk or almond milk. Or you could skip that completely and double the broth. You can email me if you have a question. So I have my sauteed onion, celery, and carrots in here. And then I added 2 cups of broth. So to that, what's wonderful about using parchment paper, you just go like this. I'm going to throw this right into the soup. So at this point, we add our cheese sauce. Now you could roast broccoli too, and it could be a roasted broccoli soup, and that's very tasty as well. So we're going to add the cheese sauce right in here over the cauliflower, which also has the celery, carrots, and onions that have been sauteed, and then 2 cups of broth added on top of that. Now if you didn't want the cheese sauce, at this point you would add 2 more cups of broth. Okay, so see how this looks? Now this is perfectly fine to have as your soup, just like so. Okay, and you could certainly add other vegetables at this point. Kale, you could get frozen chopped spinach, mushrooms, you could saute in with our mix. So what I'm gonna do now is use the Immersion Blender. You could also carefully put it into a blender, regular blender, or you could put it into a food processor, or you can have it like this, so whichever way. I don't make it completely smooth, just partly smooth. So we have the Immersion Blender right here. I don't have one of these at home. This is a nice one, nice fancy one. And I just give it a little, break up some of the cauliflower, and I'll just give it a little bit more of a creamy consistency. And then if you make this, you can freeze it, put it in individual containers to have throughout your week. Or if you have a big family, wow, this is like one meal. Or you can save it all just for yourself. So I'm going to show you this in a moment. Okay, hi everyone. I finished using the Immersion Blender, and the consistency, it's a little bit chunky, and that's a great way to have it. And then just put a couple of your whole and a little sprig of Franny's rosemary. Delicious. Enjoy.